Hi guys, and welcome back to Tommy's Starcraft. This is your host Tommy with another Starcraft Remastered replay for you guys. And once again we have a great engagement here in between two pro players from the South Korean scene. Let me just start by introducing the players to you guys. In the lower left, in the yellow, it is Only Star, aka BISU. Of course you guys know him as there are many replays here of this player on this channel. BISU, one of the best Protoss, if not the best Protoss in the period of 2010-2015. And his opponent is going to be none other than Sharp, spawning here as the red Terran in the upper left part of Circuit Breakers. A very interesting map, a map with a 4 spawning location, so a fast expansion could be of course an option for both players. Let's just see exactly what they are going to do. BISU not opting to move out with a probe here as I see on the minimap, so he's very likely going to place of course a pylon here near to his base, which also indicates a nice wall in here for him just to protect perhaps any harassment by vultures here from sharps. So he's very likely going to follow up either with gas first or perhaps a gateway. We're about to see, it looks like a gateway indeed. Let's just check this. Yes, indeed it's a gateway. Now Sharp is of course also opening up here with a supply depot, and let's just see what exactly he's going to do. A fast expansion, perhaps he's going to place a barracks here. Of course you guys know that a lot of Terrans are opting to go for mass mechanical units, this meaning tanks with vultures and Goliaths later on, as perhaps a counter for the Protoss, who is actually going for arbiters or maybe carriers later on. Psionic Storm, Reavers, and lots of strategies are possible of course for this matchup, this Protoss versus Terran matchup. We're going to have a look at the follow-up here. Perhaps he's going into Dragoons, as this should be a cybernetics course indeed. He's probably going to mine a little bit of gas just to upgrade that range for those Dragoons. So pretty standard opening up here for both players at the 2-minute marks. Both players are sending out their scouts on the map, as they wish of course to know where exactly the opponent is. And this is a very interesting pylon here by BISU. Perhaps he's going to hide anything here, perhaps some starports, perhaps later on in the game his fleet beacon with his carrier production, maybe the arbiter, we never know. Perhaps he just wishes to secure this expansion here. Now lucky for Sharp, his SCVs headed the right way. He's going to find out where BISU exactly is, what exactly he is doing. So he sees that a pretty standard opening up is being made. No fast expansion here as he moves through this gap. Just checks for any proxy pylons here perhaps. Let's just have a look at his main also. Perhaps this is already a factory. Indeed it is, and he might leave here 1 or 2 Marines just to secure a expansion with a bunker perhaps later on. BISU already changed his way, as he's very likely knowing now where exactly Sharp is located on the map. Pretty standard stuff here. Both players are mining with 18 workers for both. The upgrade for the Dragoons is being researched. No zealots for BISU, as he's going straight into Dragoons. Also he's checking this location here just in case the Terran would have been sneaky and just built a factory here, or who knows exactly. But nothing out of the ordinary here for Sharp. Pretty sure that he's going for a fast expansion, for an expansion really soon, as we're already at a almost 4-minute timer. BISU is checking of course the other location. He did take some damage out of those Marines. Another SCV is coming here for Sharp, but it will very likely be taken care of, these Dragoons. Of course Sharp is sending out his SCV just to know exactly what else is BISU up to, what are his next buildings, his next option. So perhaps this is exactly why BISU has hidden here this pylon, just to create some out of the ordinary buildings, perhaps a Stargate, a Starport, perhaps a Reaver drops, and so on and so on. Let's just have a look. A Dragoon is moving here forward, and a Dragoon can be nicely microed here against Marines. However, there's just too many Marines. Even a tank is moving out now here for Sharp. And this is why I told you guys most Terrans opt to go for mechanical units, because Dragoons with Zealots are very very strong against a bio unit like Marines with medics and firebats. Even with Stim they're very very strong, a good counter. And we have a first engagement here. Perhaps one Marine is going to be taken out indeed. He's even targeting those mines. Another Marine is going to be taken out, so you just see that the Dragoons don't take any damage, so just a little bit of damage on that shield. and they are able to take out 2 Marines already. Now what Terrans do in this situation, of course, they make vultures. They just place mines all over the map just to secure their position, just to deal as much damage as possible to the Protoss. Now perhaps Sharp a little bit ahead with his expansion. His expansion is a little bit faster. No, sorry, BISU's expansion is actually a little bit faster here than Sharp's. He's even transferring probe. And look at that, this vulture is going to detect, of course, this position here. The expansion. You want just to check the expansion just to see when exactly BISU is moving out to his third. But in the end, it's a pretty standard move out here by both players, as both are securing now their expansions. Mines are being laid here just to fend off any Dragoon harassment. Of course, in this situation, the Protoss really needs his observatory. There it is, and many observers will follow up on the map just to clear all of those mines, which are very nicely being placed here by Sharp all over the map. He's even moving out more and more vultures as things are settling down. A nice placement here by Sharp with all of these mines. He really wants to have as much map awareness as possible, as BISU is very likely just going to wait for his observer just to clean these mines here on the map. So pretty standard stuff, like I told you guys. Let's just see how many factories Sharp is going to. Currently just 2. He's actually invested here in another expansion. So pretty macro oriented game here by him. Same can be said by BISU, as he's also going in for his second expansion and slowly moving out with his Dragoons, of course, feeling very confident against any harassment. Dragoons, pretty tanky unit against even siege tanks, but of course you need to back them up with Zealots, as Zealots in the front are going to soak up those first siege tank shots and even those mines from the vultures, just to deal as much splash damage as possible. Now Sharp also is adding here a turret, of course a turret just to detect the invisible units, to detect the observer from the Protoss, but also to detect any Dark Templar harassment, as Dark Templars are of course invisible units. And let's just have a look at a follow-up here. The observer is nicely positioned here by BISU. He's going to see any move out, any army move out, and of course he's going to just see this expansion, of course, here by Sharp. So a 3 base Protoss versus a 3 base Terran, as we are closing in at the 10-minute mark. Pretty standard stuff here. Both Sharp is of course defending here this position with siege tanks. BISU, however, feeling very confident, even dealing some damage. Perhaps he's going to take out SCV or 2. No, he's just going straight for that command center, dealing so much damage to it, but Sharp is there to repair it as fast as possible. So BISU just showing his presence here on the map, just showing Sharp that he is in the nearby proximity and he is ready to attack. Nice pull there with those mines. BISU, of course, known for his great Dragoon microing, and at the same time he decides to take this 6 o'clock position here with his expansion. Sharp very defensively. He just aligns here his tanks, his B line. He is ready to defend these 2 choke points here. Very good situation here for him. And the observer here is very nicely being placed. Let's just have a look at what exactly Sharp is following up to. Indeed, he's going for more and more factories, so the pretty standard tactic here for any Terran against Protoss. Just mass factories, pumping those tanks, vultures, and later on Goliaths, of course. Pretty good stuff here for the Terran. Now let's just have a look at the BISU's base. Mass gateways I see here, but pretty soon I'm sure that the Stargate should follow up. First it is a Templar Archives, now there's that Stargate, and perhaps you're going to see some arbiters, like I told you guys. Perhaps you're going to see a fleet beacon with carriers. BISU is of course known for his carrier play. We have the first arbiter tribunal, so indeed arbiters it is going to be, but there could be also a change of mind to BISU. He could of course go carriers. There might be some reavers for him. Reavers, of course, very not that small, not that fast unit, but if you back them up with some shuttles, they can deal so much damage against the Terran. There's even a shuttle here. What exactly is he going to here? Perhaps some gateways? Yes, indeed, just mass gateways. So BISU indicates to us that he wishes, of course, to do a mass Zealot Dragoon attack here. Let's have a look. Does he has a forge? Indeed, he is going to also upgrade his units first attack level. And no army move out here yet by any. Sharp is just placing as many mines as possible, so pretty standard stuff here. No aggressive gameplay here by both players. Both players are just preparing a macro orientated game. Already at 130 supply here for BISU. BISU, however, taking some economic damage here. Those vultures are really nicely driving by here and just killing some probes, as currently they are both at the same number of probes and SCVs, 63. And let's just have a look. Is there a surprise here from Sharp? No, he's just going into mass factories, but we've seen of course Flash adding some in previous replays. We've seen Flash adding some science vessel, of course very vital here for the Terran, as those EMP shockwaves could be very vital against arbiters. But look at that, another drive by here by Sharp, and many probes are being killed. Actually only 2 probes have been killed. Hold on, there's a third and a fourth, but that mining time has also been here denied. So really nice harassment here by Sharp. However, BISU of course will be able to recover from this. At the same time, Sharp is buying time here for his expansion at the 12 o'clock position. So I think this will be of course the next follow-up here on the game. More and more harassment here by Sharp, as BISU will hold and slowly but steadily build up a very strong army. He's already at 160 supply, so pretty soon he's very likely going to move out. We even have a shuttle here with zealots. Zealots of course can be dropped straight into these siege tanks. So if this siege tank, for example, would have been clumped up, you can drop those zealots onto them and they will actually deal damage to themselves. So Sharp needs to be of course very careful what his siege tank position is going to be. We've seen dragoons, of course here are the zealots with upgraded speed legs. Let's have a look at their upgrades. It's 0 to 1. And the tanks from Sharp also 0 to 1. Notice however how nicely the observers are being here placed here by BISU. So he has a lot of control here, a lot of sight when exactly Sharp is going to move out, what exactly is doing into his main, as BISU slowly but steadily is moving out. Not very patiently here, he's already taking so much damage here with his zealots. But I guess he just wishes to push out as fast as possible. Some 5 zealots have been already taken out. Sharp is trying to take out the reinforcements here by BISU. But BISU feels very confident, of course, as he's already pretty much maxed out here, and his economy is also very strong. Let's just see the follow-up. Finally the Arbiter comes in, so he really needs that scan. You have a first engagement, nice stasis trap here, taking all of those tanks out. The shuttle also waits to do a job. We have a good position here for the Terran with those vultures, with those siege tanks in the back. Even SCVs have to be pulled now. Sharp might be in a little bit of trouble. There are so many vultures here, but these siege tanks, thanks to the stasis trap, have been taken out. So really good stuff here by BISU. Another scan, so Sharp relies on scan. He doesn't have that science vessel. Finally the science vessel is out, but it's a little bit too late, as BISU already dealing a lot of damage here against Sharp. This one expansion has been already taken out. He could surround now these tanks, but needs to be careful as his army number also drops. Nice takeout here against that science vessel, but in the end now he has to pull back. Of course the damage has been already done, the expansion is dead. Lots of splash damage here by those siege tanks, so really good engagement here by BISU. Sharp did however hold. Of course if he would have had an earlier science vessel it would have been better for him, but pretty good engagement here. First aggression here by BISU, nicely done by him. Good hold by Sharp as well, and they traded around 20 supply for each gap. So pretty good stuff by both players. Their economy are still strong. BISU at 67, Sharp at 61. However, a nice snipe here from this expansion by BISU. So let's just have a look at the follow-up. Is he going perhaps into carriers? No, I don't see that. He's just going into arbiters. Still arbiters with, of course, the same army composition here, with dragoons already upgraded 0 to 2 against the unit composition here for Sharp. Of course, is going to try once again as many as drive-bys here with those vultures, as many mines as possible, just to kill those reinforcements here by BISU. So many mines on the map. BISU really needs to be careful. Perhaps he needs even another observer or two. He does take control in the middle of the map, but notice that those mines are of course connecting as they are. There is no observer here for BISU yet. A nice snipe here. He tried to snipe that pylon. He tried to deny the expansion a little bit, but BISU of course there. But at the same time, Sharp is just buying time here for his economy, for him to recover. He's already at, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factories, and even making more and more science vessel, of course vital here for Sharp. But this is a nice tactic here for the Terran, as they just place mines all over the map, just try to deal as much splash damage as possible with those mines, and thus hurt the Protoss as much as possible. We have a nice group here of Dragoons, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some siege tanks here for Sharp, of course. So pretty good stuff here by both players. BISU's economy, however, is starting to kick in. However, all of a sudden, look at that, Sharp at 72 SCVs, and sorry about this one, guys, I did miss the recall here by BISU. BISU goes straight for that Stargate. He knows how important the Stargate is for the Terran, so he's very likely going to take this one out. Just go straight for the production buildings here from Sharp, and so many mines, but the splash damage is real. Splash damage, of course, from those mines will hurt the vultures as well. So, of course, in the end this is going to be cleared. But let's just have a look at the supply after this engagement. We have BISU at 177 versus 169, so pretty good hold here by Sharp. As, of course, as a Terran, you just want to place as many mines as possible. So when a recall comes in, he's just going to drop it straight onto those mines, just dealing massive splash damage with those mines. So Vulture, a very important unit here, of course, for the Terran. Once again, we have an army move out here by BISU. Is he going to opt for another recall? Perhaps this would be a good position, as there's not that many mines. The mines are just here in the front. But of course, as a Protoss, you don't really see where this is. You just need to rely on your observers. And we have the same game once again here by Sharp. He's just trying to buy time for his recovery. This is a nice location here for him. He might take out his expansion. BISU decides to split his troops, as I see on the map. So Sharp once again trying to buy as much time as possible. BISU already at 2k minerals. Let's just have a look at the follow-up here. What exactly is it going to be? When exactly another recall is going to happen? Both players are maxed out, so their economy will of course grow and grow faster. BISU still tries to find a good position here for his drop for his recall. Two arbiters are inbound. In comes Sharp, however, with a move out here, so he's feeling very confident, but he needs to be very careful against those stasis traps. And look at that, good stasis traps against those science vessels. But another great stasis trap could hit, of course, all of these clumped up units together. EMP will be a must here against this arbiter. Only one arbiter here for BISU. This is very likely going to produce more and more, of course. Even adds another forge just to upgrade his units, and we have a great engagement here in the middle of the map. Let's go straight for that arbiter. Arbiter is that. Zealots in the front once again. Good stasis trap here in the back. The Zealots are dealing as much damage as possible. Of course, they will be taking out vultures nicely in the front with those mines. And as soon as the Zealots fall, of course, BISU has to pull back. So a good engagement here by both players. A nice trade. They're both at 150 supply mark. Pretty good and balanced engagement. Let's just have a look at the upgrades. 2 to 2 for Sharp, and also 0 to 3 already for BISU. Slowly but steadily Sharp is moving out on the map. He is feeling very confident. BISU has no arbiter. Finally one arbiter comes back. Is there a stasis trap? Indeed there is. So nice stasis trap, but there is a nice EMP shockwave here by Sharp. Another EMP shockwave. However, BISU is able to cast that stasis trap before the EMP shockwave kicks in. So really good stuff here by BISU. BISU, however, needs to clear all of those tanks in the back. There's even vultures now coming in. The reinforcements are real. Lots of mines are being placed, but the Zealots are exactly where they should be, just soaking up all of those damage, all of those mines. and in the end Sharp holds and is able to fend off here BISU. A nice stasis trap of course by him, as these units can't be touched, but in the end Sharp looking very confident here, very strong, placing more and more mines as he's moving slowly but steadily forward. So what is BISU going to do? Finally he pulls all of those mines with those zealots. Really nice trick here by him, just showing us how exactly to fend off these mines, and look at that, the splash damage is real. Those vultures nicely microed out here by Sharp, as he once again tries to drive by here through the map just to try to take out as many probes as possible. He's really going for this expansion now. He's very likely going to target it down. BISU needs to react somehow. He's bringing his reinforcements here, but the Terran on the high ground with those mines once again dealing so much splash damage. This is what I told you. Did you see the splash damage? It just took out all of the vultures here for Sharp. However, the damage has already been done. The probes here can't really mine. However, BISU is coming back here with his reinforcements, and he is of course going to hold this position. However, taking lots and lots of splash damage here, even losing his shuttle. At the same time, Sharp decides to expand at this position, so a very aggressive move out here by Sharp. More and more mines are being placed. BISU needs to be careful with this Arbiter. That was perhaps a little bit of a mistake here by BISU, however he has so many Arbiters in the back. Let's just have a look at the follow-up here. Arbiter gets targeted. Those zealots are once again in the front, but they're taking so much splash damage here. It's just a small force here by Sharp, which will of course be taken care of by BISU. Nice stasis trap once again here by BISU, but slowly and steadily Sharp brings his units back, but the siege tanks aren't sieged up yet, so he needs to be careful. It could be anyone's game now. Vultures once again in the front. Zealots are coming in as the recovery, and more the economic damage is being dealt here by those vultures. So this is a great battle here by both players. Some siege tanks are of course in stasis trap, others are coming back to as a recovery. It still could be anyone's game here. Nice gameplay here by both players as we are closing in at the 25-minute mark. BISU holds this position and is slowly but steadily moving out, as all of a sudden, look at that, Sharp has dropped at 140 supply. However, his economy is still very strong. Perhaps he's going to transition into something else, but battle cruisers could be an option, but I think he's just going to stay at mass factories. Let's just have a look at his base. Vultures of course with tanks, no Goliaths this time, just some Goliaths. So yeah, really good stuff here by him, as both players are sticking into their strategy. No carriers for BISU, is just going straight for arbiters, mass arbiters, as the whole map is already being almost mined out here. You can see all of those bases around the map. Sharp of course in the red and yellow, and BISU in the yellow. And let's just have a look once again at the upgrades. Armor is being upgraded, the shield, plasma shield is being upgraded. I'm pretty sure that Sharp is already at 3-3, no, 2-3 for him, as BISU is slowly moving out on the map. He knows that this expansion will very likely be mined out pretty soon, so he's just going straight for this expansion, perhaps even trying to bait here Sharp out, as he might go for a recall for the production building. Anything is possible here for BISU. Of course, the small group of dragoons for him will be taken out, but reinforcements are coming in here on the map. Let's just have a look at the follow-up here. What exactly is he going to? We see many arbiters here at this location, so perhaps this is just a small indication for him that he wishes to do this drop here. Indeed, Sharp reacting very fast, but he's going to lose so many SCVs here, but he needs to be careful. BISU needs to be careful against those mines. Pretty good engagement here by him. Nicely done. He perhaps even going to deal as much damage as possible to this expansion. Perhaps the expansion will even fall if it's not getting repaired. Really good stuff here by BISU, denying that mining time and denying the economic advantage here by Sharp, so he's just going to hold this position. Sharp not paying attention here with his SCVs is going to lose those SCVs. Even the extractor is getting taken down, so every mineral counts right now, as the positions, the expansions are getting mined out. This and this one as well, of course. BISU are very confident with this expansion, and also this, and even is going to expand onto this position. He's even going to take out another SCV here, so pretty good stuff here by both players. Once again, we have a move out here in the middle of the map. There is an observer here by BISU. Zealots once again in the front, soaking up those mines hits, but slowly but steadily I think BISU is gaining an advantage here. Still, however, he needs to be very careful not to walk into tanks and vultures mines, so of course Sharp right now just decides to be a little bit more defensive as BISU is more and more moving out here on the map. Good mine placement here, but this Zealot just walks straight forward. He's already upgraded, just so tanky. Look at him go, just soaking up all of those mines into him. As more and more BISU is being prepared here, he's just moving out. Siege tanks are of course sieged up, but BISU at the high ground. Perhaps an EMP should be released really soon here by Sharp. Sharp perhaps in a little bit of trouble. Zealots in the front, nice EMP against those arbiters. Nice stasis trap here for BISU, just blockading here this trap. Really great strategic move here by BISU, just having a blockade here, and he's moving forward on the map. Those SCVs need to be pulled back. The expansion here for Sharp needs to be taken out. Another EMP greatly done here by Sharp against those arbiters. Those arbiters finally out of energy. So pretty good stuff here by both players, but in the end, like I told you guys, BISU has more bases here than Sharp. Sharp in a little bit of trouble. What this expansion is still mining here for him, but BISU already denying here this small expansion, and even is actually taking this expansion as he moves out on the map. One arbiter might get taken down here for those Goliaths. Those Goliaths greatly upgraded, very good anti-air unit, and we even have another drop here against this position. This position is very important here for Sharp. He's already taking so much damage here. A couple of SCVs are actually being taken out. Scan needs to be done as he has no science vessel. Sadly for Sharp, he is not able to see these units right now, and BISU just showing us what a small group of Dragoons can do here, as so much mining time is of course once again being denied here by BISU with just a small group of Dragoons. But like I told you, this expansion is very important here for Sharp. BISU on the other hand once again is going to move out with a army composition. This shuttle once again with those Zealots, nicely dropped Zealots onto these mines just to hurt the Terran as much as possible, and the reinforcements of the Zealots are coming in here for BISU. BISU all over the place just decides to move in here forward just to kill as many reinforcements as possible here for Sharp. Sharp already at the 200 mineral mark, BISU on 4000, so things looks pretty good here for BISU. I think he might have done it here. More and more siege tanks are however coming back here for Sharp, so he could hold this position, but in the end this looks like it's going to be a game for BISU, as his economy is of course very strong. Sharp however even mining from this place and this place, and this is also an expansion, but yeah, he could hold of course a little bit longer, but BISU feeling very confident, as he's probably going to pump as many units once again as possible. Things are settling down a little bit, and we're gonna see the follow-up here for BISU. Is moving once again out with a strong army composition, but this choke point is really good here for Sharp. Let's just have a look. He's probably going to siege up and spread his siege tanks as good as possible. Nice drop here with that Vulture. Vulture is going to deny a little bit of mining time, but in comes BISU with 3 arbiters. The siege tanks are clumped together a little bit, so they will deal damage to themselves with that siege possibility. Nice ice field once again here by those arbiters. Pretty good stuff here. Zealots of course in the front just to soak up as many mines as possible. And Sharp is on a little bit on a retreat as more and more reinforcements are pouring in here for BISU. BISU looking very confident, very strong. His economy is of course a little bit stronger here than Sharp's, and he's moving more and more units here out on the front. Zealots of course will fall as first as they soak up those mines. but the damage is being done. BISU in a very confident position here, and of course he's going to take this game. Even does a nice recall here for himself. So what a crazy macro oriented game as we are closing in at a 13-minute marks. In the end, BISU just expanding all over the map and even dealing some nice recalls here against this expansion and this expansion. So this just shows to us how strong the Arbiter is here for the Protoss once again, as we've seen many Protoss versus Terran games here on this channel. Arbiter very strong thanks to that stasis trap. I didn't know what it's called, so I just called it ice field at one point. So yeah, pretty good stuff here by BISU. Nice hold by Sharp, good game by him as well, but in the end BISU proving to be a little bit too strong for his opponent. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. I see you guys in the next replay.